Well, good morning. A new adventure begins.
For many years, I had this desire, this obsession about driving cross-country from Florida all the way to California. Back in 2018, that dream came true, with my 2004 old Kia towing my 2014 Winnebago trailer. Today we're going to basically do the same thing, retracing some of the steps of that memorable first transcontinental journey, with a purpose, of course. But reenacting that original road trip is gonna be very special to me, and I hope you enjoy it too.
Now that we are in the turnpike, arguably Florida's least scenic highway, I'm not gonna film all that much. We're going to Pelicamp, that's the first leg, and then we're gonna take I-10 west all the way to Phoenix. And I thought you might like a road trip, and we don't really have a name for it yet. I had one of those moments, the same I had when we bought Minnie, the original. You know, you only live once. This has been my favorite rig for many years. But Winnebago discontinued it in 2017, so I'm like, oh, bummer. We're gonna see if we find something else. And I've tried, but I decided this is the one. I mean, it's used. I'm the fourth owner of this particular rig. It has a couple of problems here and there, but it runs well. I mean, it's a little noisier than Starship, but I mean, it is what it is. I've always wanted this kind of Class C corner bed, no slide. And this one doesn't even have a cab over. This is kind of like a B+.
Now crossing the St. Lucie River, the only real toll bridge on the turnpike, if memory serves. Let's take a break at the service plaza. And no matter how many bus and RV signs they put up, trucks and passenger vehicles will always park here. This is one of the great conveniences of having a motorized rig, unless you have a huge lithium and solar system, which we will, but I still love having an onboard generator.
Okay, it's gonna be TV dinner breakfast. Removed from carton, puncture film, microwave on high for 2 minutes. Not exactly a gourmet meal, but for right now, it'll do. Yeah, it is warming up. Now on the road again, and I encountered my first world problem here. My phone here is still trying to connect to Starship. It is following me on Starship, by the way. So we have to get far away enough for this to work. This is crazy.
This is our first real road trip of 2025, the one that never got released. And this is my favorite kind of road trip, which I've done several times, but let me tell you, never gets old. And we just passed Orlando.
That's no good. And we made it to Pelicamp. I'm gonna add one more negative. The trend is not very off-road capable, and I've been meaning to fix this driveway for a while, but yeah, we almost got stuck. In fact, we got stuck. Yeah, I was like, it's a miracle that I got out of this one. Look how deep. I mean, I really need to fix this driveway before we come back, because otherwise I won't be able to drive in here. Look at that. Anyway, we're gonna move all our stuff now from that one to that one, and at some point tomorrow we're hitting the road, driving to the west. We're tired. I've got some smoked salmon from Alaska, cream cheese, and capers, and some wine. We're gonna call it dinner. Yeah, some wine too. See you tomorrow.
I'm gonna try and fix that driveway a little bit.
It is raining in Florida. What a shocker. Anyway, I'm going to once again remove these solid steps, and we're going back to the step ladder. Just because we're gonna be in very uneven terrain in the desert, and it's, to us, it is just more convenient. So let's do this. That's the way, I like it. We're finally ready for departure. Late departure. We plan to depart late, but we are even late by our own standards. And would you take a look at this weather? All of a sudden, it was gloomy and miserable, and now we have blue skies. Also, the only way I can describe it is we're rusty. You know, we haven't traveled much. So, and now we have this other RV. So some things were in the trend, some things were in mini teeny, some things, you know, yeah, we need to redo this driveway at some point, sooner than later. All right, I'm gonna move the trend now and turn off the water because it is gonna freeze here at some point. I'm gonna move the trend back there and turn off the battery, and I'll be right back.
The Winnebago Trend is built on the Ram Pro Master 3500 cutaway chassis, and it being front-wheel drive and rear-heavy, it's not a very capable vehicle. That is, in my opinion, the biggest drawback at this point. It will have to remain on paved roads for the most part. I may even have to pave my site here, or at least put some road base or millings. I gotta do something.
We'll see you in a couple of months. Yeah, I was gonna say weeks, but realistically speaking, it's gonna be at least a month. Now, for real, I thought we were never gonna get out of here. I had to release the pressure from the water system just in case it freezes, and that kind of thing. Let's close the gate and away we go.
They call it the forest capital for a reason. Oh, I forgot the intro. I'm riding in my RV, wherever I want to be, 'cause I'm free in my RV, yeah.
I-10, 225 miles to Alabama. Yeah, Florida. The Florida Panhandle is longer than people think. And we're already like, not at the beginning of the Panhandle. Well, yeah, this is kind of the beginning of the Panhandle. Anyway, the point is, we are now driving to the west, into the sunset.
Driving to the west, into the sunset, driving to the west. Now crossing the Apalachicola River, which comes down from a town called Chattahoochee by the Georgia state line. This is where we change time zones.
Well, one of my favorite things about driving to the west, besides driving into the sunset, you know, I love the west. You gain an hour every couple of days. So yeah, we just crossed into the central time zone. So it was 4 p.m. Now it is 3 p.m.
Driving to the west, into the sunset, driving to the west. Driving to the west, into the sunset, driving to the west.
$2.55 a gallon. That's a good deal.
It doesn't look like we're gonna get much of a sunset today. As night falls, this is where we're gonna call it, at the Alabama Welcome Center. Some of these have no overnight signs, but we'll take our chances. I don't recall this one having it.
It is frigid, but here's what we're doing. Frozen pizza on battery power. We'll see. It's 38 degrees out there, 52 in here.
Well, good night.
Well, good morning. We had a relatively quiet night here. By the way, it's frigid. And now we're just gonna keep on driving to the west, stopping just for lunch, for bathroom breaks, and that's pretty much it. Beautiful morning here at the Florida-Alabama state line. We're gonna try to make it to Texas today. 33 degrees Fahrenheit. What is that in Celsius? Like 2 or 3? Yeah, we're gonna make it to Texas for sure. I mean, it's 394 miles, and then yeah, maybe we'll make it all the way to Houston. We'll see. Maybe even past Houston. Today's gonna be the big day. You know, I'm gonna make as many miles as possible, because then I'll reassess our ETA, and we maybe can spend a couple of nights in like Las Cruces or Tucson or other places like that. Tires are a little low, but that's because of the temperature, and we'll just take it 1 mile at a time here.
As I've done in the past, we're going to stop here at the Oasis Travel Center. This was the first thing of any significance I ever did in the state of Alabama back in 2018, and at the time I thought it was pretty cool. Let's see if the allure is still there.
I was here a couple of years ago, and it looks pretty cool inside. Let's go inside. Yeah, they have this, railroad theme kind of. Oh, it's closed. I guess that one it is closed. Let's try the other one.
Yeah, it still looks pretty cool. I mean, after seeing Iowa 80 and your neighborhood Buc-ee's, it feels kind of small, but it's still pretty cool. Let's check out the Derailed Diner, all the way in the back.
I guess the diner is not open yet. Okay. But the diner is pretty cool because they serve you out of an old school bus. Anyway, let's continue. Yeah, the register is like an old pirate ship.
Alright, let's get back on the interstate. We're now approaching one of the more interesting parts of this whole trip, until we get to West Texas, that is. We're approaching Mobile, and there is this long bridge spanning the northern side of the bay, which is really an estuary at the mouth of several rivers that converge here. Downtown Mobile hasn't changed all that much since the first time I drove through here in the mid-1990s.
Yeah, pretty windy. This Mobile Bay Bridge can be a little bit of an adventure sometimes.
There it is, downtown Mobile, and the USS Alabama. Great museum ship. Now going under the Mobile River. Mississippi, the birthplace of America's music, will be coming up soon. We still have a good 5 hours to go until we get to the Lone Star State, and you know it's gonna take longer. We are now in Mississippi. Shortly after, we're crossing the Pascagoula River.
Well, we're gonna stop for a quick breakfast here at this rest area in Mississippi. I was gonna stop at the Louisiana Welcome Center, but I think it's closed according to Google, so we're just gonna stop here. Make some bacon and eggs or something like that. It's time for a brand new RV cooking show.
It's breakfast time. We're going to do some bacon and some eggs. I'm also gonna slice an onion, like in rings. The nice lady who sold us the RV gave us this block of cheese, and I'm going to slice that too. There you go, we'll call it an omelette.
Bon appetit. Still pretty cold. By the way, very nice rest area, and there's a lake back there. I wonder if there's like lake access. It's on the passenger vehicle area, so I'm not gonna get down there now. Today, kind of, time is of the essence. I wanna make it to Texas. I wanna, if optimally past Houston today, and then we're gonna slow down a little bit.
I guess it is called Farragut Lake. It's actually connected to the Pascagoula River. Anyway, the road beckons. Let's continue. Louisiana awaits. One of the few landmarks we'll see from the interstate in Mississippi is the Biloxi Water Tower, a town we must visit at some point, like in depth. Maybe we should do a Gulf Coast road trip. We're about to cross the Pearl River, and you know what that means, right? We are now in Louisiana. The Welcome Center seems to be open, even though Google says it's closed, and this is one of the better ones, so I'm going to stop here even if we don't need to. I mean, we don't really need any information or rest. But did I mention they used to have free coffee?
Here we are at the Louisiana Welcome Center, Tourist Information Center, I think they call it. They used to have free coffee here. Let's see if they still do. Oh yeah, it's very nice, even though, you know, in the dead of winter, all these trees here are without leaves. But check it out, the symbol of Louisiana over there. Yeah, this is one of the coolest signs at the Louisiana Welcome Center. It's, you know, it's a map in the shape of the state. And they have a pelican.
It's one of those welcome centers with an architectural theme.
Yeah, they made it look like an antebellum home here.
The Mississippi Welcome Center is even more impressive, but we didn't go in this time. Yep, they still have free coffee.
One final quick break here. Not a final quick break, but now we got a, unless things have changed, we have like 3 hours without rest areas now on I-12 in Louisiana. I got my free coffee, and by the way, the ladies in there, they're always super nice, super helpful. I mean, I didn't need any information today, but you know, the people here in Louisiana are very welcoming in general. Yeah, let's keep on going. I believe we forgot to turn off the water pump. Let's check.
Here we ran into Gary and Christine, who we met at Quartzsite 2 years ago. And coincidentally, they are also on their way to Quartzsite this year.
Anyway, safe travels, and we'll probably we might see you Quartzsite.
Here we're going to take I-12, which bypasses New Orleans, going north of Lake Pontchartrain. And the thing is, there are no more rest areas on this stretch of road, not until the Atchafalaya Welcome Center, that's past Baton Rouge and the Mississippi River. It's 140 miles or 2.5 hours. But thanks to the magic of television, only a few minutes of screen time. Here we are, arriving in Baton Rouge, Louisiana's capital. And we're about to cross the mighty Mississippi River. There it is, Baton Rouge. We must revisit sometime. I stopped here ever so briefly on that legendary 2018 trip. I can't believe it's been 7 years. I've always thought of the Mississippi River as that psychological milestone. It is by no means the halfway point, but it marks a division from east to west. It effectively splits the country in two, from Lake Itasca in northern Minnesota to its delta by the warm waters of the Gulf. And before the construction of the many bridges we have nowadays, it was certainly a barrier.
Well, I just came to the realization that this would be our 5th trip to Quartzsite. The first time was in 2018. I came by myself, old Kia. You know, biggest video on the channel, by the way. It has like, what, 7 million views? I lost count. The second time was the next year, came for the RTR, so came earlier, decided not to go to Tampa, to the Tampa RV show. Illy flew to Phoenix to join me for the tail end of the RTR, and then we, you know, did a little bit of touring in California and whatnot. The next time was Q21. We did the first Quartzsite meetup. Papa Drew was there. Lots of people. Met Mark Guido of Grand Adventure. Then came Q23, which is when I, hurt my ankle. Really, cut her finger. It was things didn't quite work out as planned. Let's put it that way. Now this for the 5th time. I just came to an idea. Maybe we should redo some of the things that I did on that first 2018 trip, and then once we are in Quartzsite, do some of the things that I wanted to do in Quartzsite that I didn't get to do. Well, right now we're about to start crossing the Atchafalaya Basin. It's a narrow bridge, so I need all my concentration. So I'll talk to you guys later.
The Atchafalaya Basin is the largest wetland and swamp in the United States. The bridge we're on was constructed in the early 1970s, and it is over 18 miles long. That's a little over 29 kilometers. I guess the only way to explore this would be on an airboat, which might be something worth doing someday. At the 13-mile mark, we have the Atchafalaya Welcome Center, and that's the rest area I was talking about. I do believe overnight parking is allowed, but don't quote me on that. I've never actually done it. Regardless, we've been driving for a while, so we're going to take a break here.
Alright, almost on the last leg of today's adventure. Today and tomorrow are probably gonna be like really long travel days. And we decided to reserve an RV park. It's kind of no frills, it's $50 a night, plus the $5 fee, that they charge. Hold on. I need to change my view here. I lost my train of thought. Yeah, we're 2 hours away from the Texas state line, and this RV park is 1 hour into Texas, so we have 3 hours in total of driving time left today. It's 2 p.m. to 11. Sunset is like at 5:30-ish, so we should be able to arrive still during the day, even if we spend a few minutes at the Texas Welcome Center, Tourist Information Center, it's called. We may have to refuel one more time. Entering Bridge. This was the stretch of road that used to be like ta-ta, 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 and they took forever to redo it, but now, I mean, it's not the smoothest by any means, but it is way better than it was. You can tell it's freshly paved. Yeah, that's the pilot that has a casino in it.
It feels like I've always done this stretch of road while being tired, which can't possibly be true because the first time I actually spent the night at the Bridge Walmart. But let's face it, Western Louisiana and Eastern Texas, no offense to either state, this is not the most scenic or pleasant stretch of road. The Lake Charles Bridge looks kind of scary from afar, but it's really not that bad. On the other side, the industrial dystopia called Westlake. Crossing the Sabine River, and we are in Texas!
Well, what do you know? We've made it to Texas, y'all. Let's go check out the sign. Actually, the big sign is back there. They took it out. I don't know. It's been a while since I was here. Of course, it's a very nice welcome center. I think there's like if I recall, there's like a wilderness area somewhere back there. They're about to close, so we're not gonna go inside. I just wanna check out the Six Flags of Texas. They don't have the Six Flags of Texas anymore. Something has changed. Yeah, I believe this is the spot where they had the Six Flags of Texas, but I only see two now. 2 flagpoles. And of course, they're flying half-mast because as we record this, President Jimmy Carter just passed away. So, yeah, they have the big Lone Star. Yeah, this is a cool welcome center here. And yeah, they used to have the Six Flags. I don't know what happened. Yeah, they took them out. Maybe that's where they used to be. But anyway, here we have the big Lone Star. Coming this way, we have a map of Texas. And now we're gonna drive clear across. I mean, this was, what was it? Exit 880. So that means that from here, where we are, to El Paso is 880 miles. And we might deviate a little bit. This is Big Bend National Park right here. And at some point, I want to make it all the way down to Boca Chica. That's where Elon launches Starship. So, yeah. Amarillo is somewhere up here, and this is Oklahoma right here. So, yeah. very cool to be back in the Lone Star State, and we're gonna be here for more than one day for sure. Yeah, it takes more than one day to drive across the state. Very cool that they have the Lone Star back there. Anyway, we've got one more hour, and I think Ili is gonna drive this last hour. I mean, I've been driving all day. I'm kind of tired. I decided to drive it myself after all. It's only 1 hour. The only negative, we're gonna have the sun in our faces, like right here. But, oh, what's up with this? Oh, okay. To the left, to the left. Lots of construction.
In 600 feet, merge onto I-10 West.
Lots of construction going on here. We don't have much of a merge. Yeah, we do. Here we go. Just gonna punch it. The lines is kind of unnerving.
Driving into the sunset may sound romantic sometimes, but in reality, it is not a pleasant experience. The actual sunset is, but the hour before it, not so much. Here we are, it's called Rio RV Park. It's one of those automated places you reserve and pay online, and they give you instructions and you don't really have to speak to anyone. While impersonal, for a quick overnight, sometimes it is more efficient this way.
I think this is going to work just for one night. And the only reason we're doing this, but the main reason, it's really very nice, almost a western sunset here. The main reason we're doing this is we've depleted our battery pretty bad yesterday doing that pizza, and it didn't really recharge all that much today. I guess this time of the year the sun is so low in the horizon that you don't get all that much. But anyway, here's our site. Very nice Texas sunset. I'm just gonna connect the power today because the sewer is over here, so let's just do it. So tomorrow, at some point before we leave, we'll dump, and it's gonna freeze tonight, so I'm not gonna connect the water. But check it out, nice Texas sunset here. Now we're famished, so I'm gonna cook some salmon I have in there.
We have a bunch of salmon that is going to go bad at some point, so we might as well cook it all. Salt and pepper, as evenly as possible. It doesn't always work the way you intended. Cayenne pepper and smoked paprika. Let's flip them over. And I know this is controversial, but I am going to remove the skin, because that's the way we like it. Now we're gonna cook some broccoli, olive oil, cooking wine, salt, and we'll let it rip.
Well, good morning. It's pretty frigid in Texas. Yeah, last night we didn't see it, but there's
a river back here. Beautiful. Look at that. Let's go check it out. And I also saw wild boar. Oh, yeah, there's poop all over the place. I saw wild boar at night in the distance. They were black and you could barely see them. But let's check out the river. Well, this is pretty cool. It's always nice to be next to a body of water. I gotta look for the dumpster, and then I-10 is right there, so it's gonna be easy in and out. The one thing, oh, it's getting colder and colder. With all this cold weather, all the tires are a little low in PSI, so I'm gonna see if I can air the tires a little bit before we hit the road. Yeah, the RV is like 5 PSI lower than it's supposed to, and so is the truck. So, and after that, we're going to Buc-ee's for breakfast, and then I have a meeting with Winnebago, and then we're just driving to the west towards hill country. Beautiful.
That's the reel. So we need two more pieces. Well, airing those tires took forever, and it takes even longer when you cannot feel your fingers. Anyway, Buc-ee's. No, she's not gonna understand me, is she?
There's a Buc-ee's 21 miles away. Want to navigate there?
Yes, that's the one. Yeah, we're starving. Let's get underway. We still have to, dump the trash.
This was the first Buc-ee's I ever saw, when there were not even a thing yet, back in 2018.
Hey there, Buc-ee.
This is what I call a normal Buc-ee's, not a destination Buc-ee's like some of the new ones. No crowd, no chaos, much more pleasant. Here's all the sweet stuff. Let's go to the savory side.
They already had lunch ready, so came for breakfast, but decided to get a brisket sandwich instead. And they still had tater tots, even though those are only for breakfast. So I had one of those too. And by the way, fun fact: this was the first Buc-ee's I ever saw back in, I want to say 2018. Is it alright to eat brisket twice a day? Because we may go to another, like a real barbecue joint later today. We'll see. This is huge.
Buc-ee's never advertises their gas prices, but they are usually cheaper than anybody else. I think they lose money on the gas in order to get you into the store. Now for the fun part of today's journey, let's drive across the Houston metropolitan area. And I'm being sarcastic about it being the fun part. This, by the way, the largest metropolitan area we're going to have to drive through in the entire trip. And traffic today is actually not too bad.
Yeah, these toll roads in Texas, like the Sam Houston tollway, and here the Katy tollway, they use something called Easy Tag. I don't think it's compatible with SunPass or Easy Pass or anything. I think it's one of the few that it's still a standalone thing that's not compatible with the rest. So we're taking the regular route, with the rest of the communards. I mean, I think we timed it pretty well. There's traffic, but and it's crazy traffic, people cutting you off and stuff like that, but it's been a lot worse previous occasions.
I was going to stop at the Buc-ee's here in Katy on the other side of the metro area, but I think one Buc-ee's a day is enough. Next up, San Antonio. It's a little bit of a tedious drive, but in these first 2 days of the trip we do have to put in the miles, and I'm not looking forward to San Antonio. I mean, I love the city, but there's never-ending road construction all around it.
Still nippy out here. 40 degrees. By the way, $2.35 per gallon with my Love's discount. Now that's a deal.
Over 2.5 hours later, we are finally arriving in San Antone, as given away by all the road construction. We've been here recently, so we're not gonna stop today, except for some groceries and some barbecue. Tomorrow we're going pretty remote, so let's get some essentials, just in case. And we are in Texas, so how about we stop by the original Rudy's Barbecue? They are a big chain now, but I've been reliably informed that this Leon Springs location is the original, established in 1989. We're definitely getting some moist brisket to go. Kind of hard to navigate all this with a trailer in tow, but somehow we manage. Next up, Hill Country and our Harvest Host stay. What a difference in topography compared to the past few days. And we are on the edge of the Wild West here. This is Texas wine country, so let's get some wine. We did our tasting and got some to go, because they are about to close.
Well, what can I say? Well, that furnace is really going. It's been a long day. Not so long driving, but it felt longer, so what better way to end it than with some Texas wine, some Texas brisket. Yep. Tomorrow the journey continues.
Well, good morning and greetings from Hill Country, Texas. Somehow our battery was down to 15% this morning, so we had to run the generator. Between the furnace and the 12-volt fridge and the lack of solar, we must have depleted it. It was a fairly quiet night, even though we are right next to US 290 here, which goes through the heart of Hill Country, and the town called Fredericksburg. This was a nice Harvest Host. Next time, we just have to show up earlier. Anyway, let's get out of here.
Oh man, there's a big bonfire over there. Look at that.
It is a Texas-sized bonfire.
It's frigid. 41 degrees. It feels colder for some reason. Yeah, that's a big fire over there. Oops. Yeah. Anyway, a little bit of a late start. Today is 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. But tell you what, sometimes you have to, just forget the schedule and be in the moment. So sometimes I forget to be in the moment, and this is a good moment. Did I get everything in? Let me check something real quick. I'll be right back. Yeah, I wanted to make sure I closed the bay where the power cable goes. Anyway, we'll continue driving to the west. We're gonna actually, this is one of my favorite parts of the cross-country road trip. Now that this is my 5th time doing this. Today we arrive in the desert, and it is so great to. I mean, this is kind of arid here already, but it's such a great experience to see how gradually this becomes the desert. Looking forward to seeing that again. That part never gets old. Messinahoff, good stay. We'll be back. We'll be back in hill country for sure. This would, if it wasn't so expensive, this would be a great spot for Pelicamp Midway. This is kind of like the halfway point between Florida and Arizona.
All these roads have been salted because they are expecting snow later today. Or even worse, black ice. While we're here, let's cruise along Fredericksburg, even if it is a little out of the way. It is a lovely downtown. We won't be able to stop with a trailer in tow, but someday we will visit. Actually, technically, I could take up a few of these diagonal spaces, but with the Class C, we would only need 2, as we'll soon find out. Anyway, we must definitely come back. What a gray and gloomy day. And now it's starting to drizzle. This is not gonna be a pleasant drive, but I feel like, in the spirit of following in my own footsteps, we gotta stop in Junction, if only for a few minutes. While I didn't spend the night here on my first trip, I did on my second one, and now it is no longer allowed, at least not for free. Maybe too many YouTubers got the word out about this place. Anyway, I'm gonna take it slow because this road is probably very slick. There could be ice. Here we are, Shriner Park. It says overnight tent camping only, 3-night maximum, and RV day use only. Yeah, that sucks.
Well, they still have that eagle on the tree. It is frigid. We're getting heavy snow soon, apparently. I'm kind of sad that they don't let you overnight with an RV here anymore, because this park is lovely. I mean, they let you tent camp but no overnight. Anyway, I had forgotten how pretty it was. Yeah, it is very pretty here, even in the dead of winter with all the trees. You know, bare, no leaves. Anyway, let's continue. Alright, time to go. Time to continue driving to the west. Rain is supposed to be heavier. It could be a mix of rain and snow. I don't know. I'm going in 4x4 just in case, you know. I will take it slow on the interstate. I mean, the interstate shouldn't freeze. I've forgotten how pretty this park is.
We are now truly on the edge of where the map turns yellow.
This area has a peculiarity. Check it out. It's got these pavilions here that look like covered wagons, kind of. You know, it has the wagon wheels. Yeah, it is all very cool, but it is frigid out here, so we're gonna continue. It's like 34 degrees Fahrenheit, but it feels much lower just with the rain and it's a little bit of a breeze.
Yeah, it's not pleasant out here. With every rolling hill, it becomes a little drier, more arid, more desert-like. Before we know it, we will be in the heart of the Chihuahuan Desert. This subtle transformation is one of my favorite parts of this trip, which can only be experienced by driving cross-country, like we're doing right now. The speed limit is 80 miles per hour around here, probably the highest in the whole country. Of course, we can't go that fast towing a trailer. I think this is the spot where the landscape changes for good. As we descend in elevation, we are now undoubtedly in the Chihuahuan Desert. How about another drastic change? We're about to get a hint of blue sky. Let's stop at this rest area. I flew the drone here back in 2018, so I'm gonna fly it again. This kind of landscape may not be for everybody, but I feel it is gorgeous out here. So different from home. I love seeing all these buttes and mesas, and the land almost bare of any significant vegetation. We're not gonna drive straight to El Paso this time. We're going to take a detour from the fastest route, the same detour I took 7 years ago. Remember what it was? Here we have a perfect example of renewable and non-renewable energy right next to each other. In Texas. I love all these mesas. It is certainly the look of the American West. Illy is driving, by the way, and here at Fort Stockton, it may be our last chance at a large, relatively inexpensive gas station. The most remote section of this trip is ahead. And we're going to go even more remote than that. Once again, retracing my 2018 steps, we're going south to a small town called Marfa, home to the mysterious Marfa Lights. Will we see anything in the sky tonight? We'll soon find out. There, our first yucca, a clear sign we are really in the Chihuahuan Desert. They are everywhere. Farther south we go, the more mountainous it gets. We're now approaching a town called Alpine. here we are at the Marfa Lights viewing area. I'm just facing in the wrong direction, so let's turn it around.
Oh yeah, it's been 7 years since the last time I was here. 7 long years. And yeah, hopefully we'll get to see the Marfa Lights somewhere in the distance. Let's go check out the interpretive signs actually. It says prohibited camping on public property, but I imagine this is more like a rest area. Anyway, I checked iOverlander, and yeah, there's anecdotal evidence that, you know, people have stayed here up to like a month ago. Someone stayed here to see the lights, and I mean, you're supposed to stay overnight, late into the night, right, to be able to see the lights. I suppose. I hope I don't get a knock on the door at 2 a.m., you know. But also strange, there's nobody here. The last time I was here, I came here 7 short years ago. 2018 would be 7 years ago, right? 2025, incredible. Yeah, there was a bunch of people camping. Or not camping, but, you know, boondocking. Also curious to see the lights. And here, I believe they have pit toilets and all that. Let's come this way. There's dog poop on the floor. And presumably, you know, these binoculars, so you can see the lights in the distance. And let's see, I believe there were some interpretive signs, but, you know, memory fades, like they say, yep. Well, yeah, they're just talking about the Chihuahuan Desert, which is this whole area. I thought this area was more like, oh, in Arizona. Okay, yeah, this is the Chihuahuan, southern New Mexico and Texas. And then where we're going after is the Sonoran Desert, which is this one right here. Anyway, let me go back to the RV. We're famished. We didn't really have a lunch today. We had an energy bar at the gas station way back when, wherever we started the day. The first gas station we stopped at. And I'm gonna make some picadillo. It's an easy for me to make. And it's getting cold. It's getting bitterly cold. It's supposed to be like in the 40s, but tonight it's gonna go down to the 20s. It's gonna freeze. Not a hard freeze, but it's gonna be like 28 or something like that. So we'll make sure we have enough propane in there to keep us warm.
First, I'm gonna use all the garlic we have left. All this stuff came with us from Miami, and it's been several days. We're going to leave the trailer in Phoenix for almost a week, so we want to consume as much as possible of what we have. The onions too. Let's do 2 of them. Here we have some grass-fed ground beef, and it is 15% fat, so it'll cook in its own tallow. Salt and black pepper. More salt. This part is always very satisfying. Now for that cooking wine, and I know, never cook with a wine you wouldn't drink, but it would just not taste the same without it. Now the usual suspects: smoked paprika, oregano, cumin, a little cayenne pepper, and today I'm feeling adventurous, so turmeric and some leftover barbecue sauce from Rudy's. a little bit of tomato puree. Let's mix it all together. A little more. And now something sacrilegious. Broccoli, because that's how we roll.
Definitely a little unorthodox, but I think it's gonna be good.
And just like that, another day comes to an end.
We've got company now.
Will we see the mythical Marfa Lights tonight? There's almost a full moon, so probably not. It is not the most amazing desert sunset either, but we'll take it. It is also going to be a cold and windy night, so we'll stay indoors and leave the camera up on the roof taking a time lapse. It all started fine. I mean, not a dark sky bonanza, but that was to be expected. But then, all of a sudden, the camera started malfunctioning. I want to blame the cold, but maybe there was something they didn't want us to see. What do you guys think? Reviewing the footage, off in the distance, on the right, there's what seems to be a very busy airport. But all I see on Google Satellite is what seems to be an unnamed, small, private airfield, possibly owned by the Border Patrol. It could also be like a mirage, right? A refraction from some distant road. Let me know what you think.
Well, good morning. I'm so glad we have propane. It's been frigid. It's been like, what temperature did it go down to? 25. It's supposed to feel like 8 or something like that. So we're gonna recycle some of that picadillo, unorthodox picadillo I did yesterday, and we're gonna make it into a breakfast. So picadillo, scrambled eggs or something like that. So while we warm up the picadillo, I'm gonna scramble the eggs. Yeah, I'm gonna need a spoon for this one. And we'll call it breakfast. And then we're going towards Las Cruces, New Mexico. I'm only gonna do 3 eggs, so we have 4 for the next one. Yeah, at some point one of the eggs broke. That's why we have an uneven number. I'm starving. It'll be tasty. Well, there it is. The final product. Let's eat. Well, here we go. Great breakfast. Now lunch will probably be in Las Cruces. Probably Mexican. Because, in Las Cruces. Well, yeah, it is 25 degrees this morning. Probably feels like 5 with the wind chill and the... We even had some flurries last night. I don't know if you can see them. Sunrise happens so late here this time of the year, It's, with the sun. It's almost 8 a.m. and now is that, it's the sun is starting to... Well, the weather is not the best for Marfa Lights viewing. In fact, I think the camera on the roof froze last night, so we didn't get much of a view. Anyway, we're going back to I-10. We're gonna skip El Paso this time, and we're gonna do Las Cruces. We're gonna spend one night in Las Cruces, hopefully spend a couple hours in town. I'm gonna go back inside, start the car, and hit the road. Oh man, it's uncomfortable out here. I haven't felt this cold in a very long time. Maybe since Alaska. Even Alaska, yeah, probably the Arctic. Barrow kind of felt, Utqiagvik kind of felt this way. Well, the sun will rise soon, and I think it's gonna crack 40 today.
Strange things happen in the desert, huh? We may never find out exactly what we saw. here we are at the small town called Marfa. It has a little bit of a Route 66 feel to it, doesn't it? And now, what a desolate place this is. The desert doesn't really get much more desert than this. There's that tethered blimp. I think it is used by the Border Patrol. After driving through a small town called Valentine, we're going to encounter this very odd art installation called Prada Marfa. I call it Prada in the middle of nada, and here we are. I'm going to stop for a few minutes.
Well, we stopped here in the middle of nowhere on the side of the road because, well, you saw the town of Valentine. Seems a little bit of a ghost town. Most of the buildings there, or the houses, were abandoned. They looked abandoned and in disrepair. But yeah, I was here back in 2018. So I'm kind of reenacting that trip in a sense. You know, not the whole thing, but some things. And this is called Prada Marfa. It's supposed to be an art installation. At the time I called it Prada in the middle of nada, even though there's that Valentine town, which is doesn't seem very romantic. It's like 70 people live there, but probably less these days because it kind of looked abandoned. Well, there we go. This is it. On the surface, it looks like a Prada store, and in here there's a vacuum cleaner in there and some handbags and shoes, and I guess someone has been neglecting to wipe the glass here, but again, with this wind out here, it's probably difficult. Oh, it's not focusing. There we go. That's what it looks like in there. And back here, they have all these love locks everywhere. Some of them combination locks, just in case you change your mind. I guess it is one of those strange things you only see in the West, right? It is bitterly cold still. It is in the high 20s, but with the windshield, it probably feels in the teens. And I'm freezing here, so we're gonna get back. Here's the sign explaining what this is. Feel free to establish in 2005. Anyway, very remote, even though we're close to that town. This is a stretch of road. It's only like there's no services for over 70 miles. So the next town is Van Horn. That way, that's where we're gonna put gas, running on fumes, probably. All right, Prada. See you in another 7 years.
There it is, Van Horn, off in the distance.
Oh yeah, we've had all kinds of cold weather issues with cameras and batteries, like the rooftop camera, the power bank isn't working. But anyway, we're gonna stop here in Van Horn. We have 44 miles of range to go and 6 miles to the nearest gas station, to the Loves. And Yeah, so cool to be here once again in the desert. I just love this barren land.
Here we are. We're going to fill up with gas and propane and continue on I-10 west. We continue going west on this barren land. That is the eastbound Border Patrol checkpoint. That's where I got stopped back in 2018 after the Horizon City incident. And we'll go through another one, past Las Cruces. There we can clearly see the border wall. We are that close to Mexico now, and we will get even closer. And there is one last rest area before El Paso.
Well, yeah, this is the last rest area before hitting El Paso, Texas. El Paso being a very interesting city because it is a border town and I-10 passes right by the border. So when we're driving on your left, right there you see Juarez, in Mexico. So that's pretty cool. And if you look closely, and I'm gonna zoom in, of course, you can clearly see the border wall right there, off there in the distance before those mountains back there, which is it's pretty cool too to see, Anyway, it looks like a beautiful day, but trust me, it is brisk, it is nippy, it is cold, even though the sun is shining and it's not as bad as it was this morning, but oh man. And yeah, we're now truly, clearly in the desert. You can feel it in your mouth, that dry feeling. It's quite something out here. And I've had all kinds of trouble with the cameras because of the cold weather. I don't want to talk about it. So it turns out it was a bad USB cable. Probably not related to the cold weather, but it works now. Let's go to El Paso. Let's listen to the local radio, right? Why not?
Yeah, listening to local terrestrial radio is something we don't really do as much anymore.
I don't know if this one is coming from that side of the border or this one, but...
La Lupe
104.7
FM
y 640 AM, tocando lo que los demás no se atreven.
Definitely from south of the border. The Big X off in the distance is a famous monument in Juarez, dedicated to the Mexican people. I think they make the point that you can see it so clearly across the border. Anyway, we're going towards downtown, and then we'll get an even closer look at Ciudad Juarez. Having been born in an island myself, I have always been fascinated by land borders. And even though I've seen this one several times, even crossed it once, it is still strange that just by walking or driving to that side of the wall, things can be so different. Just my curious mind wondering.
Very cool to see Juarez right there, right next to us. That's amazing.
Anyway, after seeing Old Mexico so up close, now we're going into New Mexico, the land of enchantment. The next state in our journey. Texas did take a long time to drive across. Here's the Walmart where I spent the night the first time I came through here. But today we're staying at an RV park so we can explore a little more. This is it, and there's still fresh snow on the ground. Once you get to New Mexico, you start seeing this Pueblo revival architecture everywhere. We get the first sight here by the entrance. We're going to unhitch for the first time since we left Florida. One of my least favorite things of RV life. Let's get level and check out the town.
Well, we only have like 4 hours in Las Cruces. So first we're going to see the world's largest chili pepper. Because we're in New Mexico, so why not?
Las Cruces is such a picturesque town with the Oregon mountains ever present here. Here we are. It's supposed to be the world's largest chili pepper, here at the Big Chile Inn.
Well, here we are at the Big Chile Inn and allegedly the site of the world's largest chili pepper. It looks impressive. They should have two, one green, one red, you know. As in New Mexico, they say Christmas. It's even got a little bit of snow up there. You know, it snowed yesterday, apparently. Very cool. Now we're gonna have some real chili peppers. Let's go eat somewhere in Old Mesilla. I think it's supposed to be good.
Old Mesilla here was founded in the 1840s by settlers from Chihuahua. Then in 1848, the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo ended the Mexican-American War. Mexico lost a huge chunk of land after that war, but this particular area was in dispute until 1853, when it finally became part of the United States. During the Wild West era, this was apparently a party town. Billy the Kid and Pancho Villa used to hang out here. Anyway, let's see the plaza first and then we'll go eat.
Oh, there we go. Oh yeah, it snowed quite a bit yesterday.
This is so typical of New Mexico. Check it out, the Butterfield Overland Trail, forerunner to the Pony Express. Who knew?
Yeah, the old Mesilla Plaza, which by the way, Mesilla used to be part of Mexico.
Here's the historic marker.
St. Louis to San Francisco, forerunner to the Pony Express. The more you know.
Let's check out the gazebo here.
You know, this would be a pretty good spot for a mini teeny lounge. What do you guys think? That's the old church there.
It's the Basilica of San Albino. And there in the gazebo, that's a popular Spanish saying that would probably get lost in translation.
Okay, you may pause for the history.
Let's see if we can go inside the basilica.
this will be the Basilica of San Albino. It says it here. Roman Catholic, the Diocese of Las Cruces. And well, we're in mid-January and they still have, the name escapes me right now in English, El Nacimiento, the Nativity. You know me, once you get older, you start forgetting things. Do you think there's an odd chance that this might be open? It is.
This building was done in 1906. But the first church was put here in 1851 when Mesilla was part of Mexico.
Oh, wow.
But yes, if you'll sign up.
Yeah, of course, yes.
You just ask, don't go up the stairs to the altar. This is a real church. We do still have Mass here. The Holy Eucharist is in the tabernacle up there.
Check that out.
Ice, ice, baby.
Pretty cool.
Let's check out some of these shops. Walk the narrow alleys. The sidewalks damp with snowmelt.
Established in 1934. Very historic town, Mesilla.
Nowadays, Old Mesilla is this charming historic village with shops, art galleries, and restaurants. Everything outdoors is kind of deserted, probably because of the cold weather.
No, Mezcal Monday, Tequila Tuesday. Today is what? Friday. Award winner Friday. Doesn't say. It's very wintry here. Timing is everything. Well, it's 2:30 p.m. Mountain Time. All right. This place, La Posta de la Mesilla, comes highly recommended, so let's check it out. It's best parking spot in town, right here. It's a National Registry of Historic Places. Virgen de Guadalupe. Entrada. Okay, nice.
Wow, this place has great ambience. I love the decor. We got some chips and salsa to start.
Well, cheers. By the way, that salsa was really hot. You can tell we're in New Mexico. Good margarita too.
We got the fajita. Ilis is sizzling, mine is not, for some reason.
Here's another room.
Okay, this is the outside patio area.
Overall, very pleased with La Posta. Good food, good ambience.
Yeah, they're late to remove the Christmas decorations.
I don't know exactly what all this means, but yeah, very eclectic decor. They have a pretty cool bar too.
Pretty cool. Let's go.
Here's what we're going to do. We're going to go to a vista point, see the city from a much higher perspective. And I think that's it for today. We just got a taste, figuratively and literally, of Las Cruces. Something tells me we're going to be back this way next year.
here they have a very famous statue of a road runner. He's back there. But first, I think the main thing here to see is actually the view. Hold on. Maybe I shouldn't be walking here on the gravel. Let's step inside this pavilion. Check out that view. Las Cruces. I believe those are the Oregon Pipe Mountains. I mean, yeah, that's the official pavilion over there, but I believe this may actually be the better view. Check that out. Let's do it again. Now let's go see that Roadrunner. There it is. Apparently it was built by using recycled materials. There's someone taking a picture now, but let's see if we can get a little closer.
This is a pretty cool statue because it can be seen from I-10, like welcoming you to the land of the Roadrunner. Let's take a closer look at all the recycled materials used in its construction, like a pair of crutches, some computer parts, cell phones, lots of tennis shoes. A great homage to the state bird of New Mexico.
Good morning. It's frigid. It's in the 20s. And depending who you ask, my thermometer says 25, Apple says 20, I think Samsung says 22, and my radar says 24. So it's in the range, but check it out. It definitely, oops, it definitely froze. We're gonna, oh look, yeah, everything is frozen. We're just gonna start getting ready for departure. By the way, very well insulated rig. We've been toasty in there with our furnace. The bathroom in the back does get a little cold, so as long as we leave the door open, it's fine. Yeah, it's really cold. Ready to go still, according to Starship here, 22 degrees Fahrenheit in the greater Las Cruces area. We had 4-hour drive to Tucson, and yeah, we might stop here or there, but it will be a fun exercise to see how long the rooftop camera lasts in this cold weather. You know, lithium batteries don't like freezing temperatures. Oh, my TPMS. Almost forgot the all important TPMS. They're probably gonna be a couple of PSI lower than they should, just because of the cold, but it'll be fine. Beautiful morning, not a cloud in the sky. Yes, he doesn't know where I'm going.
Turn left onto Stern Drive.
Coming up, the Border Patrol checkpoint. You will encounter one of these whenever you get within a certain number of miles from the border. 99% of the time, they'll wave you to keep going. I, however, still get that same feeling as when I'm driving into California. You never know if they're gonna take your lemons. All these billboards advertise a store called Aquila Flats. Been there, done that. I mean, it's not bad, but probably not worth a stop unless you're into buying some of that stuff. So many freight trains going all the time. You know what I haven't seen? The thing, and we're not gonna see it this time either. Here we are at the Continental Divide. We're going to take a break at the Continental Divide trading post. Ooh, that's a narrow underpass, but we fit. Yes, we're not gonna buy anything here, but we're going to make ourselves a TV dinner breakfast.
Sometimes it is a gourmet meal, sometimes it is a TV dinner at the Continental Divide. Arguably the most anticlimactic Continental Divide in the US. Anyway, west of here, rivers flow west. The journey continues.
We keep on going. This part, not the most scenic one. I mean, it is not bad by any means, but as soon as we get close to Arizona, it slowly becomes a little more mountainous. Soon we'll be in the Grand Canyon State.
Welcome to Arizona.
Oh, thank you.
We're going to take another quick break here.
Alright, I just made a reservation at a campground. I have no idea whether it's gonna be good or bad, but and the romantic in me wanted to boondock at Snyder Hill is the BLM land, you know, in the outskirts of Tucson. But first of all, if we're gonna have only a couple hours to explore, I want to be a little more centrally located, and if we want to hitch, you know, for one night. I don't really know how safe that Snyder Hill is. Anyway, we're now in Arizona, an hour and 49 minutes away from, it's called Sunshine something or another. Sunshine Mall RV Park. It doesn't have the best reviews on Google, but we'll find out for ourselves. Enjoy the ride. This is one of the most beautiful rides in Arizona. I love it. I just love this desolate desert beauty, all surrounded by mountains everywhere.
Driving through New Mexico, Arizona, even California, I'm gonna get my kicks on 66. The mountains and the desert are my fix. Driving to the west in my RV is where I wanna be. Driving to the west, 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 driving through the west, driving to the west, driving to the west, driving to the west.
Little chilly, but not too bad. By the way, I usually like to stop at this particular rest area just because it is so scenic.
According to what I read, it was named after the first pioneers who came from Texas, Coleman County, Texas, to be exact.
Yeah, this is called the Texas Canyon. We're about an hour west of Tucson. We still have about an hour to go. But take a look at that blue sky behind. I mean, it's such a gorgeous day. It's in the 50s, in the sun. Yeah, I could use a hoodie right now, but I just wanted to get out of the car for a few seconds. There are some, what I like to call contemporary petroglyphs on some of these rocks, which is another word for graffiti. They do have big signs everywhere, you know, saying that
defacing the rocks is prohibited. But up there, yeah, you see a couple of them. Anyway, let's continue. Tucson awaits. We're still a little early for check-in, but I think I'm just gonna show up.
Into the west, into the sunset, driving to the west, getting into Utah, Colorado, high above sea level is my motto. Into the thin air, I might see a bear. Nothing like the west doesn't compare. Driving through the west in my RV is where I wanna be.
We've made it to Tucson, and since we are a little early for check-in, we're gonna have lunch first. By the way, this is the first time I see Mount Lemon without any snow on it, since I've always come in wintertime. The Sonoran hot dog is supposed to be one of the delicacies here, and we've been told El Sinaloense here is the best place. So let's try and find parking with the trailer in tow and get our Sonoran hot dog.
Driving to the west.
Here we are. They also have something called a tostielote, and the whole thing is built around this hot dog cart. I have high expectations. We decided to eat it inside the RV. So yeah, we came all the way here to get a Sonoran hot dog at El Sinaloense. And it's been a long day driving. It's supposed to be very typical here of Tucson, and it's got beans, supposed to have bacon and all kinds of good stuff. It looks messy too, so. Yeah, apparently it's wrapped in bacon, and it's got tomatoes. I don't know if it has onions, but it has like 2 different types of sauces. So a little bit spicy, but not very spicy at all. And we decided to come here because officially checking at the campground is not until 3 p.m. and I thought about showing up early and just winging it, but we might as well. The closest we are to 3 p.m. the better. It's 2 p.m. right now. For our first saguaro cacti. I guess this is it. Oh well, it's just a quick overnight, and we're right next to a Safeway if we need to get anything. This is our site here. Might as well be parked on the street. Oh, what can I say? It ain't pretty, but I think it is going to work for one night. The first spot we're going to see is one I couldn't visit when I was here in 21 because of COVID, and that is Misión San Javier del Bac. There it is. It is undergoing renovations, but at least we can go inside. The mission was founded in 1692, but as it happens, it was demolished during an Apache raid. and then rebuilt between 1783 and 1797, which makes it the oldest European structure in Arizona. I just love the Baroque architecture, and it is one of those churches where the imagery, well, it leaves a mark, an impression on ya. Perhaps as it should. Maybe that's the whole point, right? Oh, what a church. Let's step outside. Let's see what this is. I think this is the cemetery, so that's the mortuary chapel. Here we have a beautiful desert garden. And this is the main courtyard. I just love this view of the distant mountains. With that, we're going to step into the museum for a little bit. Yeah, that book is huge. It is beautiful and peaceful, this garden with all these desert plants. Maybe we should climb up Grotto Hill next. See what I did there?
Oh yeah, Mission de San Javier, and you can ask, of all the places in Tucson, you decided to come to this one. And this is the thing, this was, when I was here in the, when was it, 2021, it was right after the pandemic, and all this was still closed. Even going up this hill was still not allowed, so might as well. I mean, it's a beautiful day, it's a great time for it. They're still open for another 15 minutes, so might as well do it. It looks like a little bit of a steep climb, but it's probably not that bad. Virgin of Lourdes.
I was so interested in seeing what this was that I didn't notice the Virgin at first.
And we've gone all the way around. And I still see no way to climb, no obvious way to climb to the cross.
Great view of the church and the mountains behind it from up here.
Yeah, I was hoping there would be like an obvious trail, a way to go up there to the cross, but maybe you're not supposed to, huh?
Anyway, very peaceful here. And Tucson has such beautiful mountains all around it.
Saying goodbye to the San Javier del Bac mission. Now let's go somewhere else. We've got saguaros everywhere. I've got another saguaro story you've probably heard before, but I'll say it later. Tucson is a very picturesque city, with Mount Lemmon there ever present. But today we're visiting a different mountain. It is known as the A Mountain. Oh, these hillside homes. They must be expensive. Homes with a view. I guess not everybody hits the no parking signs, huh? Anything to get that photo with the big A. Anyway, let's go park at the parking lot and go on a little hike.
Well, this one I did get to do the last time I was here, back in 2021, but let's do it again. It's iconic. It's just a quick hike to the top of this mountain, not a very strenuous hike, and even though I didn't bring my proper hiking shoes, I think it's gonna be fine. Let's take a look at the map here. We are here, so I guess this would be I just want to get to the overlook over there. So let's do that one. Up and then left.
Such a beautiful afternoon with an almost full moon.
The summit is the other way. Let's go that way.
Saguaros are such interesting plants.
Saguaro cacti are super interesting. Yeah, look at these views from the trail. Okay, here we have a fork. Let's see. Summit, here we go. Yeah, the views are amazing.
Here we have some switchbacks, but we're almost at the top.
Just a little more steep and a little more rocks. I gotta be mindful of where I step, for sure. Yeah, this is it. We've reached the summit.
Oh, what a view! What a view! There, you can even see the shadow of the mountain here in the late afternoon.
There it is, that letter A, part of it anyway. And then downtown over there, Mount Lemmon. You can see everything. I-10 down there. By the way, curious fact, I mean, I haven't been here all that many times, but this is the first time that I come here that Mount Lemmon doesn't have any snow on it. Which it is strange that it doesn't have any snow because, I mean, the rest of the country is covered in snow. It snowed very close to here, but not here, which is, you know, the weather, nature, climate, it's all very strange. It's a mystery.
All right, let's get down from this mountain.
By the way, I am gonna put a link to that 2021 video somewhere, so you can see this from a different perspective. Down and down we go. And we're back at the parking lot level. We've conquered Sentinel Peak, the A mountain. And I mean, we still have like, what, 30, 40 minutes of daylight left today. But I think this is all we're gonna do here in Tucson. We're gonna go back to that, it's kind of sketchy, huh? That RV park. And tomorrow we're going to Phoenix.
Very cool to have all this nature right here in the middle of the city. Anyway, tomorrow will be the last day of this leg of the trip.
Well, good morning. A little bit of a late departure, but we only have 2 hours of drive time today. This place, it served its purpose for what we needed, you know. But if aesthetics and cleanliness matter to you at all, I would not recommend it. It is in the middle of town, though. Let's what we're gonna do, since we have like 2 hours to kill, we're gonna go to the place that we could have stayed at for free. It's a BLM land just on the outskirts of Tucson. Let's hope we didn't forget anything. Boom, yeah, it's even like boom, a big drop. On the plus side, we have a Safeway. Boom, right across the street. Usually I say Minitini, more like boom, boom. Hopefully we still have shampoo in there.
Turn left onto South Norris Avenue. In 500
Norris
feet,
Avenue,
turn left
like
onto
Chuck
East
Norris.
Broadway Boulevard.
Yeah, engine's warming up. We're gonna have heater soon. There is one negative to Tucson, the roads. I mean, it looks like they haven't been maintained in decades, and you can barely see the lines. So, yeah. Otherwise, beautiful town.
Here, this is what is known as Snyder Hill. Let's see if we can find the entrance. It feels very much like quartzite. We could have done this too, but I don't know how I feel about unhitching and leaving the trailer here. Anyway, let's stop for a few minutes.
Well, this here is called Snyder Hill. We're about 20 miles west of Tucson proper, but this is BLM land. So this is the other spot where we could have potentially boondock. And let me tell you, it's pretty nice. We have it there, like a homemade truck camper, a teardrop. Yeah, a bunch of people here boondocking. But let me check out this weather, beautiful weather. I'm assuming that might be the hill, the Snyder Hill they're referring to. But I mean, the RV park was fine, as you saw. I mean, it's not the the prettiest place, but it was fine. Best looking trailer in Snyder here today. Anyway, we were here to kill some time, but I just some time because we were checking at the RV park in Tucson. Doesn't happen until 2 p.m. But I just got a call from the gentleman at the RV park asking me what my ETA was, and I asked, "Hey, can I arrive a little earlier?" And he said yes. So we're leaving. We're going towards Phoenix, Arizona.
It's gonna be pretty much non-stop until Phoenix. But first, I wanna tell you my other saguaro cactus story. By the way, that's Pinal Air Park, which is an aircraft boneyard for the most part. There, that's a better view. Anyway, I was driving through here mid-January 2018, the first cross-country road trip, when I noticed Picacho Peak here coming up, which I actually climbed a few years later. Great hike, by the way. What I didn't notice immediately at the time were all these tiny things sticking out from the ground near the base of the mountain. All of a sudden, I realized there were thousands of saguaro cacti, and I had never seen one before, so it was a very special moment. It signified something. I was now in a land I had never seen before, the Sonoran Desert. Anyway, at the moment I thought it was very special to me, but enough of that. Here we are, Phoenix, not Phoenix proper, but the entire metropolitan area, which is huge. In fact, the RV park is in a city called Peoria, part of this gigantic, uninterrupted city. Here we are, Sundial RV Park.
And this is where Minitini is gonna spend the next almost entire week here in Phoenix at this undisclosed location. It is actually nicer than it looked online, so we're quite happy with the decision to leave it here. Hopefully it'll be intact when we return. Now we're gonna get ready because tomorrow we're flying to Tampa. Check it out, downtown Phoenix. Well, hello everybody and greetings from Phoenix Sky Harbor International Airport. Sky Harbor, best name for an airport ever, I think. And you may ask yourselves, why are we flying to Florida for the Florida RV Supershow? Well, I'm gonna do quartzsite as well. And this, in my opinion, is the only way to do both. Drop the trailer somewhere near quartzsite, fly to Tampa, and then, Four Peaks Brewery. They had me at brewery.
Why are we flying to the RV show, you might ask? Just wait, there's a method to my madness. There's a reason. The quartzsite RV show happens to be next week, and I want to go to that one too, so I figured drive to Phoenix, fly to Tampa, fly back to Phoenix, drive to quartzsite. Quartzsite requires having an RV. Tampa doesn't really. That whole driving to the west is going to be another whole video. But for now, let me show you what the Florida RV Super Show is all about. As soon as we land. Beautiful Arizona sunset here, by the way. And that's actually the moon rising on the east. It is truly a magical moment that the camera would never be able to capture. That may be Las Cruces. and now near Odessa, Texas. We were able to get a reasonably priced upgrade for a better meal and a little more room to get some work done. As we reach the Gulf Coast, we are much closer to our destination, Tampa, Florida. We take a tram to the terminal. We take yet another tram to the car rental center. We're going to get our car and see you tomorrow.
Well, greetings from the Florida RV Supershow. I mean, and this is more than an RV show. This is like a celebration of RV life here. And yeah, this is where you get in. Let me switch the camera here to the frontal position because this is the first thing you'll encounter when you come to the RV show. You have magazines, registrations to win things. And this is the main hall. This is where the most expensive RVs are in here. You have Airstream, you have Prevo or Prevost. I never know exactly how to pronounce this. And here we have all these motor coaches, for travel motor coach. I mean, this is the epitome of luxury. And some of these are like by appointment only. So we're not gonna see probably any of those today. But yeah, this is the 100th anniversary of Prevo this year. From 1924. Now this also happens to be the 40th anniversary of the Florida RV Super Show. They've been doing this for 40 years. And this is kind of my, I forget exactly right now, kind of my 10th or 11-ish anniversary. I mean, I've been coming to this show for a very, very long time. I only skipped 2 years in between. And yeah, let me show you, once we get to the main floor, what it looks like.
Here we are.
I also say it's a celebration of RV life because besides, you know, this is the one RV show where you're almost guaranteed to see every floor plan, almost every manufacturer is here, every dealer. It does also like live entertainment, you know, you'll see entertainment, you know, performers walking around everywhere, and that's really cool. I love it. I actually shot a quick video earlier, you know, I got them all as they were coming into the show, so let me play that right now. Woohoo!
As you have seen, the Florida RV Super Show is something that you have to experience in person. It can be overwhelming. In fact, I'm going to suggest a short ebook by John and Kathy Huggins called How to Survive an RV Show. But it is a must, whether you're looking for your dream new RV, the perfect accessory, or even if you're a seasoned RVer looking to see what the new trends are. Anyway, Tampa, see you in 2026. We woke up at 4 a.m., but you gotta do what you gotta do. We have a 7 a.m. flight to Phoenix. 7:30, but you know how it is. Let me see if they have some coffee in this hotel.
No coffee.
Well, this is the worst coffee ever, but it'll have to do.
I really miss my RV.
This train is bound for the main terminal station. The next stop is the economy parking.
So, to recap, We drove to Phoenix, dropped the trailer, flew to Tampa, and spent most of the week at the Florida RV Supershow. Now we're flying back to Phoenix, picking up Minitini 4, and driving 2 hours to Quartzsite. It may seem like a convoluted process, but it is the only way to attend 2 RV shows that happen on consecutive weeks, but more than 2,000 miles apart. It turns out, airplanes are a great invention when you need to be on the other side of the country in a pinch. But after living for 6 days out of a carry-on suitcase, we're ready to get back to the comfort of our tiny home on wheels. After flying through some turbulent clouds, we are finally above the weather, so it is time for breakfast. We're finally flying over West Texas and its wind generators, and it is definitely starting to look like the West. Could those possibly be oil derricks? That looks like Las Cruces down there, and you can even see White Sands National Park out in the distance. The Aden lava flow. The Potrillo volcanic field. I realize that as much as I enjoy road tripping, there's something to be said for seeing the country from 35,000 feet above sea level. Here we are, arriving in the huge metropolitan area surrounding Phoenix, Arizona.
We've made it to Phoenix and everything seems to be in order. Unpacked our bags and now we have to do laundry and many other fun things. But the most fun thing is that tomorrow we're going to Quartzsite.
Well, yes, Minitini 4 spent a week here in Phoenix, and now the journey will take us a little farther west to Nomadland. This was a pretty good RV park, I think, even though we barely knew it. Pretty quiet too, except for the train. It is a beautiful day, although it is supposed to get really windy this afternoon.
It's January 20th, 2025.
Take the next right onto North 75th Avenue.
And we're going to the Q25 rally get-together desert encounter in Quartzsite, Arizona. It looks like we're gonna be doing the odd years. 2 hours to go. I'm so excited.
In a quarter mile, turn right onto West.
Whoops, in my excitement I made a wrong turn. But anyway, Quartzsite, there's an RV show happening there, but to Quartzsite we don't really go for the RV show as much as it's just the fact that this sleepy town of just a few thousand people becomes a city of RVs during this time of the year. I don't know if I can make a U-turn with the RV here. I should be able to. Yep.
In a quarter mile,
still short
turn right
and nimble.
West Olive Avenue.
Anyway, it's all about the people we're gonna meet up with, and Quartzsite has a certain mysterious allure that you either love it or hate it, and I'm in the love camp. What can I say?
There's a familiar sight, the Palo Verde power plant.
Into the sunset, drive into the west. Driving through New Mexico, Arizona, even California. I'm gonna get my kicks on 66. The mountains and the desert are my fix. Driving to the west in my RV is where I wanna be.
Let's take a break.
Well, what do you know, rooftop camp may have had a malfunction. Anyway, this is coffee at the rest area. We are halfway to Quartzsite. Yeah, rooftop camera had a loose screw. Let's check out the rest area here. It already feels like Quartzsite. Check it out. Poisonous snakes and insects inhabit in the area. We must be mindful of that. Anyway, let's continue towards Quartzsite. 1 hour to go to La Posa South. I was gonna go to Plomosa Road first, but I think we're going straight to La Posa.
Driving to the west, into the sunset, driving to the west. Driving to the west, into the sunset, driving to the west. Getting into Utah, Colorado, high above sea level is my motto. Into the thin air, I might see a bear. Nothing like the west doesn't compare. Driving through the west in my RV is where I wanna be.
We are almost there. I can see it in the distance. Located at the crossroads of Interstate 10 and US 95, lays the sleepy town of less than 2,500 inhabitants, which gets over 1 million visitors over the winter months, becoming effectively a city of RVs, boondocking in this relatively flat valley in the Sonoran Desert. There's the Scat and Wash, one of the areas where you can boondock for free for up to 14 days. All 4 quadrants are BLM land. Some free, like the Scat and Wash or Plomosa. Some, like La Posa, you have to pay to have basic services. There are also plenty of RV parks in town. During this time of the year, there are a bunch of events happening in town, but the main one is the RV show, characterized by this ginormous big tent.
Driving to the west, driving to the west, driving through the west, driving to the west, driving to the west, driving to the west.
Well, we've made it to the promised land, the Q25. Now the thing is, there are no addresses here. All I have is a set of coordinates. So we have to figure out on all these makeshift roads on the desert, which is the best way to get to the location. So I believe it's right past where the dump station is, or something like that.
Over the years, vehicles have created these roads in the desert. And we're gonna have to cross several of these washes to get to the location I have pinned on the map. And it is very windy today. Look at all that dust blowing everywhere. When it rains, all these washes turn into rivers, so you shouldn't park too close to them, as tempting as the vegetation may be. This is it. Right here on the left. Let's see where we can park it. There's a familiar face, Mike from the Lost RVers. Everybody else is hunkered down, which I don't blame them with these high winds.
And we've made it to Quartzsite, this idyllic place. Well, today not so idyllic just because it is very windy and thus very dusty sometimes, but what I like about this place, you know, it's flat to begin with, so it's very level. Especially La Posa South is very level, and we're surrounded by mountains. I wish I could have parked next to a saguaro cactus, but anyway, here I am. We might move, but today everybody's hunkering down because of the wind and the dust. But I am hoping that tomorrow, well, let me show you what they've done. Mike here, the Lost RVers is his channel. He's done like a makeshift mini golf course, And you have all kinds of rigs. That one is a vintage ambulance over there, and Mark Guido of Grand Adventure is back there too. And we're really looking forward to spending a couple of days here, and hopefully it won't be so windy that that we are unable to do any outdoor activities back there. Anyway, I think we're gonna go into town, see what's going on with the big tent and all that. But all right, let's go into town. Actually, we might be able to find. Oh, there's a lot of rocks here on the ground. We might be able to find a more efficient way into town. Let's see. Let's go through this wash here on the right.
This is definitely the more efficient way, going in and out by the dump station. Ooh, there's the quartzite sign. Let's take a picture. Here we are, arriving in Tyson Wells, the 10th city where the RV show and swap meet take place. Let's see if we can find parking. Ooh, someone is just leaving. It is our lucky day.
Well, this is the area known as Tyson Wells, and this is the swap meet here. It's like a flea market. They have a bunch of food options, and this is like the epicenter of the RV show here in Quartzsite, which is more about the accessories and what you can do here than the RVs themselves. Every year they have the ice cream maker here. Check it out. And it's pretty good ice cream. We might have one later. But yeah, I don't know to what extent that is a real ice making machine, but it looks pretty cool. Lo and behold, here we have some RVs at the RV show. But here on the left, Beer Bellies, adult daycare.
I don't think this camel was here 2 years ago. We might stop by here later this afternoon.
Here we go, we have hats, all kinds of hats here at the RV show. Something about the Cube Quartzsite RV show, you get to see a lot of these used RVs. Let's check it out real quick. Here we go. They don't make them like this anymore. Nice bedroom with a carpet here in the front. And mid-coach bathroom here. Pretty cool to see after all the shiny new stuff we saw last week. You can get something like this for 50 grand, or maybe less. Of course, out here in the desert, it's all about solar. That's a lot of solar on that roof. Oh, check it out, Fantasy Tours is here too. All kinds of RV parts and accessories. Camco toilets. It's a tripod torch. Yeah, this is the other side of that crazy solar setup. That's a couple thousand watts up there. 5,600 watts, he says he has up there. I wish I had that much real estate, you know, on my roof, because probably the most I could do is 800, something like that. Here we have all kinds of art. That's very cool. So much to see here. Let's step inside the famed big tent.
Yes, this very much feels like the supplier's building at the Tampa RV show we just attended, but inside the big tent, which I think this year they made it even bigger.
Just like in Tampa, we also have cutlery here. And bedding, pillows. More shiny LED stuff. And of course, cleaners. You gotta have cleaners for your RV and all kinds of accessories, yes. Here we go. Here we have an automatic watering system for your batteries. I mean, if you still use batteries that require water. Of course, we got pocketbooks and oh, look at that. It's a mini Tesla Cybertruck. Now, how much would you pay? More shining lights here. It's pretty bright, actually. Oh, they have ammo too. You can get all kinds of things here. I always wanted to have one of these, but I got a drone instead. Here also they have, all kinds of cookware and stuff, as they do.
Okay, the panels, all I have is 2.
Oh! What's going on, Robert?
Hey, Matt.
How'd
so
you
great
get
to
here so fast.
They have this great invention called an airplane. You wouldn't believe it. You can make it across the.
I'm riding
in my RV.
No. I'm riding in my
airplane.
Hey.
For real, yeah, man.
Yes.
it takes 5 days to get here. It takes 5 hours on a plane. So
hey,
sometimes you gotta do it.
Absolutely, positively, we're selling the best RV toilet tank treatment in the industry. Oh, think of me when you poop.
All right, Matt. All right, Matt. I'll see you around. We'll be here for a couple of days.
See ya.
Let's get back out. In fact, let's go to Beer Bellies. It is a tradition at this point.
Well, once again, we made it to Beer Bellies Adult Daycare. Quartzsite, Arizona.
We got cheeseburgers. Yep, people around here sure like to party.
It is so windy. Things are falling off. Look at the flags. It's like crazy. And I think at this point, at this time of the day, everybody's kind of shutting down. So we're gonna head back to the campsite. I doubt we're gonna have any activities tonight, but maybe tomorrow. Yeah, it's crazy windy. There we are.
I saw this guy selling firewood, so why not? Maybe we'll have a campfire, if or when the wind dies down.
Well, here we are as night falls at the queue. Check it out. We have like nightclub lights here by Mike's rig. And I mean, it's not as windy as it was earlier, but I don't think anybody is going to be doing anything tonight here at the queue. So we're just gonna go back inside and just watch some YouTube, I guess. But let me tell you, it is not going to be one of those incredible desert sunsets, but look, I don't know if you can see the dust blowing, but I'm confident before we go, we're gonna get one of those.
from the queue. See you tomorrow. Here we are. Good morning. Sunrise is imminent here at the queue. Back there somewhere. It is frigid, 33 degrees, but luckily there's hardly any wind. So today might be the day that we're able to explore. Oh, look at that. It's a lot less hazy today too. You know, it's since there's no wind, there's no dust, and those mountains are glorious back there.
There's a certain stillness in the crisp morning air. No one seems to be up this early.
I'm sure wind is not the right solvent to clean solar panels, but it's what I have. It's what I'm gonna use. Because these solar panels, it is a miracle. They're producing any power at all. It's with, I mean, they were dirty in Phoenix to begin with, and here it's like. We decided to walk around a little bit before hitting the Q Mountain, and it's a little bit chilly, nippy, cold, and crispy, but such a beautiful day here in Cuarta. I mean, look all around us. There's not a cloud in the sky, which is not great for sunrises and sunsets, but it's great. I just love blue skies. This is it. Once again at the Q25 campsite. And the beautiful saguaro. One of these years I'm gonna come early and park right next to that saguaro. And that's $200 worth of firewood right there.
Actually, this year the line for the dump station is not too bad. They're gonna have a YouTubers meet and greet here later in the week. And we're back in Quartzsite. And this time I'm going to attempt to climb the Q Mountain once again. By the way, huge traffic jam here in Tyson Wells at this time of the day. Q Mountain, which is a hill really, It's where I broke my ankle 2 years ago, so I thought it might be fitting to do it again. Not the ankle breaking part, just the climbing up and hopefully down. Who was it that said it that getting to the top is optional, but getting down is mandatory? I don't think this is the right way. There was a no trespassing sign, but it is the only way Google knows how to get here.
Anyway, it's been almost 2 years to the day that I broke my ankle here at this very spot. So today we're gonna attempt to reconquer the Q Mountain. Yeah, there's a less steep path that goes that way, but this is where the public parking lot is, so yeah. You see all this loose gravel, that's the culprit. Yeah, we started to get some views of the Q. One careful step at a time. Now comes the fun part. Yeah, a little bit of a switchback here, but look at the view. There's the big tent from halfway up here. Yeah, it was somewhere around here that I fell. One of these slippery rocks. We're almost at the top. Yeah, we're definitely more than halfway up, although it does. When you're down there, it looks a lot closer than it really is. Here we have some switchbacks, but we're almost there. Commanding view, huh? Commanding view behind us. By the way, Ili the climber is doing this climb with me. And we have conquered the summit of the Q Mountain. Check it out. What a view. The Arizona flag, the town of Quartzsite. That would be the big tent over there on the swap meet. This is La Posa West. And as we keep panning south, that area over there that looks like a city, that's where we are. I believe that would be La Posa South. Thousands of RVs. Well, yeah, we've definitely made it to the summit of the Q Mountain. Here we have the flag, and down here, I don't know if you can see it, that's the geodetic marker, which I don't know if you can read anything there. Yeah, incredible. Over there, it looks like a city. La Posa South. Now we have nowhere to go but down, and this is the scary part. This is somewhere around here. where I broke the ankle, so we're gonna take it slow, really, really slow this time around. Yep. That's the trail going down. Starship down there. May have been here actually. I don't recall the exact spot where I got hurt, but yeah, it's a long way down.
And we're on the wrong trail.
Well, it happens. We went off trail for a little bit, but I think we found the correct switchbacks now. Maybe that's what happened to me the last time. Well, yeah, that going off trail over there was the scariest moment of the day, probably. Not on a rock, if not wood. But it seems to be easy from here on. We made it. We were all the way up there.
Yes, we made it back in one piece, and now we're taking a different route back into town. Gas here is very inexpensive, so let's fill up.
$2.75 a gallon here. By the way, this is a very busy Love's here. This is one of the last gas stations you encounter if you're going into California. And in California, fuel is a lot more expensive, so that's why it's always busy here. And then you're in Quartzsite, so you have lots of RVs as well. What can I say? We got really lucky once again with parking right here at the entrance of Tyson Wells. It doesn't get any better than that.
We're looking for a food truck called Gringos.
Check it out, discount grocery plus on a tent.
Only in Quartzsite do you encounter a pop-up supermarket like this one.
Quartzsite becomes a tent city this time of the year. And here's what we came for. I wonder if it is open. It is a food truck called Gringos. Yeah, this happens to be the medium one. The large, can you imagine? Oh, it's gonna fall apart.
That's why we went last year.
All right, that was delicious.
That certainly hit the spot. Let's check out the Tyson Wells market.
I haven't come here in ages. I don't even remember what they have. Oh, it seems to be mostly games.
Interesting. All kinds of games and stuff in here. Let's go. Yeah, Catan. You want to play Catan?
We're gonna get some of that homemade ice cream. Butter pecan seems to be the most popular one.
It's Walter White's car. Considered globally one of the ugliest cars ever made.
And this is the RV part of the RV show.
Something very strange about the Quartzsite RV show. There's no one here trying to sell you an RV. They're just here, sitting in the lot. Very different compared to Tampa.
Ooh, destination trailer. Let's check it out.
Now, how do you get to those cabinets up there? Cool. $134,000. All right, we're gonna go take a break and we'll be back later.
Just about 6 miles north of Quartzsite, there's another free boondocking area called Plumosa Road. And this is it. This is where the Escapees Happy Hour is going to happen tomorrow, so let's see if we can find out where it is. It is supposed to be 3 miles in. This, by the way, along with La Posa, these are, in my opinion, the 2 more scenic areas because of all the mountain views all around us. I see the Escapees trailer pulling in, so this must be it. Now that we know where it is, let's continue exploring. There are some intaglios around here, which is a type of rock art, kind of like a petroglyph etched on the ground. But first, there's the Quartzsite rock alignment. It is through here.
Okay, this is called the Quartzsite rock alignment. Oh, there's a notice here. Enjoy but do not destroy your American heritage. And there are something called intaglios here in the nearby, which are like shapes made with rocks, you know, and best visible from the air. So I'm gonna fly the drone here in a few, but it's supposed to say Quartzsite on the ground. And the last time I came, I had just broken my ankle, so I came actually here. I walked all over this place with a broken ankle. I didn't know it was fractured yet. But today I'm in a little pain, but I'm just sore from Q Mountain. You know, it's been several weeks since I actually did any kind of physical activity. Yeah, it's still there. Check it out. Quartzsite. That's okay. It's we are from the top, right? This is the Z. There you go. Quartzsite. Yeah, it's not all that visible from the ground, so it's not all that visible from the ground level. So I'm definitely gonna fly the drone here. Look at those beautiful mountains all around us here in Quartzsite. There's something special about this place, for sure. Let me see what this one says. This is like a circle, Quartzsite. There's a circle, an arrow, and that one I believe says Arizona. I don't know. Let's try the drone. Let's see all this from a higher perspective.
Even from above, it is kind of hard to make out. It looks like there's an arrow pointing north and another one pointing towards the town. Such desolate beauty all around us. Now, let's go see the fisherman intaglio. Let's get the lay of the land first. Yeah, there it is on the right. Hold on, it is upside down. Pretty cool. I mean, no one really knows how old it is, but it was discovered by a local pilot in 1932.
Well, now that we saw on the drone where it is and what it looks like, let's take a short hike. I think this road was originally meant to be for ATVs, but it is no longer authorized. What a beautiful desert view. The saguaro here on the Choya. That's where we're supposed to go. Gotta cross this wash here. It kind of looks like Pelicamp West in a sense. Well, the wind is picking up a little bit, so I decided to switch cameras and wear the mic. What a beautiful place this is. I wanted to say that the last time I was here, 2 years ago, I had just broken my ankle. So I couldn't hike all the way here. All I could do was fly the drone, but today, oh, there's an interpretive sign back there. Let's see what it says. There it is, Bows Fisherman. That's what we saw from the air. Let's walk. Should be like what, quarter mile maybe? By the way, I've been switching back and forth between this camera and the GoPro to see, what the big difference in quality is. I think during the daytime, GoPro might be better, just because the background is going to be sharp. Right now, it's a bit blurry. But at night, this camera has no competition. It's so much better in low light. But there we can see it. Well, kind of. I don't really know if we can see it. I mean, there's something in the middle there. Barely visible. Barely visible. And this is what it was supposed to look like. What a beautiful desert.
There's something about it.
There are some other of these intaglios on the California side of the Colorado River. We might be able to see some of those tomorrow. I mean, I wanted to go today, but it's almost an hour drive, and it was getting late, so. Such beautiful view.
We're gonna get back to our camp before sunset. As night falls, fires are lit, movies are watched, and it is a total celebration of life in the desert.
It's a brand new day in Quartzsite, Arizona. Breakfast time. Yeah, they cut this bacon kinda weird.
Well, as it turns out, we're out of water, so I had to hitch up and let's look for a dump station. Might as well dump, right? And the line is really long at the dump station here at La Posa, so Mike told me that for 20 bucks you can dump at Tumbleweed, so that's where we're going.
With the $40 you pay to stay at the LTVA, you get access to a dump station and potable water and garbage. But the lines have been pretty long, and I've heard the water is not so great. In fact, they have imposed some water restrictions. Actually, the line for the dump station doesn't seem to be that bad today. But still, let me throw away the trash and go to that other place. It is probably going to be cleaner anyway. We're back in the middle of all the action. Tumbleweed should be about a half a mile away.
Oh, here we go, 20 bucks and no line. I'll take it. And it seems very clean. And they're thinking you can use as much water as you want, which over there they kind of have restrictions.
Since I can use all the water I want, I'm going to flush the black tank real good. I haven't flushed since we left Pelicamp almost 3 weeks ago.
It's a good idea to do a good flush every once in a while, and that's what we did. Let me tell you, very nice and clean dump station. Tumbleweed, RV park. I mean, if you don't mind paying an extra $20, or if you're staying at one of the free areas. Yeah, no line, clean. Let's get back to La Posa.
Actually, for the amount of time I'm here, Plomosa or the Scat and Wash would probably make more sense, but it is also good to be with the group. And as far as groups go, Q25 has been great over the years. We've been coming on the odd years, so make sure to check out my Q21 and Q23 videos. Next order of business, lunch. Let's go into town. And believe it or not, Quartzsite happens to have its own yacht club, even though it is not connected to any body of water. They claim to have the largest membership in the world because, you see, there is this thing called reciprocity. So with this membership, you can access other yacht clubs around the country. Maybe one of these days we'll become members. I mean, it's only 50 bucks for a lifetime.
It wouldn't be a yacht club without a boat, right? Not just one boat, but 2 boats.
According to what I read, the whole thing started as a joke, but soon business took off and it totally became a thing. If membership would give you access to more swanky yacht clubs, this could be a good idea. There's the slogan, long time no see. No see being the key word.
Wow, look at that. Bacon cheeseburger at the yacht club.
That was actually a pretty good cheeseburger. Now let's go to Plomosa Road to check out the SKP's happy hour, although we're kind of late.
By the way, if you haven't, make sure to check out the first part of this year's Quartzsite adventure, last week's video, because there's a lot more to see in this area, which actually has a totally different vibe compared to La Posa, this being a short-term camping area. This is it. Let's find parking. There's a lot of people here, but it looks like we are at the tail end of the party. I think I see Dave and Jacqueline of the Border Hookups. We didn't get to see them perform this year. It is really cool to have live music here off-grid in the middle of the desert. Yeah, perhaps we arrived a little too late to the party, huh?
Cheer up, sleeping king. Oh, what can it mean to us?
Well, the SKP's happy hour is always fun, but it would be even funner if we were camping here because we would have access to a refrigerator, which they have hot dogs, but they even run out of water. Apparently, we're late to the party, literally.
Arriving back at Q25 camp, just in time for sunset. At some point, some people started playing mini golf, and then it was a party at the campfire with old and new friends.
Check it out. The things you find here at the Q. Well, it is time to go to La Posa Pavilion. Let's head that way.
Thursday will be a day of meetups, and our friend Jim in DC Great Places Seen GPS has arrived. Here we are at the YouTubers meetup, and there's a lot of people here.
All right, we've made it here to the influencers meetup. Let's see who's here. Well, here we are at the Nomadic Fanatic meet and greet, and yep, it's the schoolie. It's the schoolie, all right. And here we have YouTubers filming YouTubers, and it's like, it's what happens behind the scenes of behind the scenes.
Yeah.
And here's the rarely seen Diana and Kitty's bus.
It is great to meet up with fellow content creators. In the afternoon, we have another meetup and the potluck.
Of course, it would not be a YouTubers meetup without a potluck. And here we have Mark, Grand Adventure.
And more face-to-face encounters. At night, Bethany and Rob of the Roving Vets invited us to the spot, the secret location where they do karaoke until the wee hours of the night. Of course, I joined the festivities and sang one of my favorite songs. Good times. Anyway, what happens at the spot stays at the spot, for the most part.
Well, greetings. It's another day. Let's go for a walk.
I decided to check out the clothing optional area. It is less than a mile away, and no, it is not what you think. I just wanted to see some of this rock art on the ground. In fact, before we leave, I might fly the drone out here to see it from the air. This area, by the way, is called the Magic Circle.
This is what is called the Magic Circle Labyrinth. It's pretty cool.
Oh, it's very dusty back here, but I'm putting in my steps today for sure. Walked all the way to the Magic Circle area. It's a clothing optional area, but I checked out that rock art there on the floor.
Didn't do much else on this day as far as filming is concerned. As the day is coming to an end, we saw these strange rainbow clouds, a rare phenomenon called cloud iridescence. As I was doing my Friday live stream, Jim in DC, again his channel Great Places Seen, was able to capture these great sunset shots. It was a magical evening, but we're getting hungry, so we're going into town for one of our favorite restaurants here, and arguably the most famous place here in Quartzsite, besides Beer Bellies and the Yacht Club, that is. We're going to Silly Owl's Pizza. This place is packed, as usual.
No visit to Quartzsite would be complete without visiting Silly Owl's Pizza. Welcome to Silly Owl's.
There's a pretty long waiting time, but eventually we are seated. It is great to have live music. Really great pizza too.
Well, what can I say? Silly Owl's did not disappoint. Both in the pizza and the ambience. Now let's go back to La Posa.
Our last morning at the Q25.
As promised, we're gonna fly to the Magic Circle really quick to see some rock art. The weather is probably too cold to see anything else. Really cool. They are definitely meant to be seen from the air. And that's the labyrinth. Let's go back. I think I have flown far enough now. Great aerial view of La Posa South. I don't see myself spending a whole season here, but many people do. We'll see what happens when they raise the price next year. We're out of water again. I have a feeling there's a leak somewhere. So we're gonna go back to Tumbleweed once again, but we're saying our goodbyes because if they have vacancy, we're going to stay there with full hookups. Otherwise, we'll look elsewhere. The time has come to have full hookups. it turns out there's no vacancy today with hookups, so we're going to dump, and this time it was only $15. Maybe he remembered me from last time. While I was filling up with water, I was able to book 2 nights at the Salome KOA, just about 40 minutes away. So that's where we're going. I'm sure that after a long shower, we'll both feel much better. We're actually going back east a few miles. We had never been through here. As I mentioned, we decided to stay in the small town called Salome, Arizona. I just didn't have all that much time for research, and Steve, a viewer of the channel, had recommended it, so here we are.
Oh, here we are, full hookups, baby. As much as the romantic in me likes the idea of boondocking in the middle of the desert, you know, completely self-contained, there's something to be said for full hookups, a long shower after that. I mean, we've been in Quartzsite probably the longest we've been, and there's something happening. We have a water leak somewhere because we're losing water, and we twice already ran out of water, and we've lasted a lot longer before. Anyway, we're gonna take a long shower, and I think if all goes well, it's not the most beautiful day, but if all goes well, we're going to the desert bar, because it only opens on weekends, and today's Saturday, so.
We're arriving in Parker, Arizona, right on the Colorado River, the California border. This is the closest Walmart to Quartzsite, and it often looks like an RV park. Here we turn off onto Cienega Springs Road. It says primitive road, caution. Oh joy. It is going to be a grueling 7 miles, which by the way, this is supposed to be the easy route. Also, it is BLM land, so you could potentially camp here too, and as you can see, some people do. The road is also very popular with UTVs, which go very fast. I see there are lots of dirt bikes as well. Doing this road looks like a lot of fun, but it may not be worth risking your life. I'm just saying. It is that desolate beauty of the desert. We have about a mile to go, so I'm going to park it right here and see if we can see the desert bar from the air. Yep, there it is, way out there in the distance. A Toyota sedan. Well, if they can make it, anybody can, right? They are from Utah, though. Just take it slow, I guess. This may be one of the narrowest parts of the road. Well, this is it. We've made it to the Nelly East Saloon, the famous desert bar.
Well, no trip to this area would be complete without the requisite visit to the desert bar, the Nelly East Saloon. And we've been coming over the years. Let's see what it looks like these days. We're starving, so we gotta get some to eat. I cannot believe that Class C made it all the way here on that road.
I guess when there's a will, there's a way. Let me know if you would take a Class C on this kind of road. Originally, it was just a small shed built in 1975 at the site of an old copper mining camp. It has been, obviously, substantially expanded over the years, and it is nowadays completely powered by solar and built with many recycled materials. And it is such a unique and fun place to visit.
When we arrive, the band takes a break. Oh well.
These Nicos I haven't seen before. Maybe there's a new food concession. Let's get an adult beverage. Yeah, no fancy IPAs here. The food, however, has improved greatly, both in variety and quality.
I lost half the patty.
Even though it fell apart, that was one of the tastiest burgers we've ever had. And one of the messiest too, I might add. And the band is back. Yeah, they sound really good. The bar has lost a little character. Most of the stools are gone, but hey.
Cheers.
Let's walk around a little bit, because this place is huge.
Oh yeah, I remember this. This is where you get to pee with a view. Check it out.
Here's another area, and I believe that tower is used for cooling.
Crazy little thing called love, and that's the hill.
Here they have all these antique car shells and desert views all around. Let's go up the hill a little bit to see the views on the other side. Ooh, that must be that back road, the other way to get here, which is supposed to be quite an adventure. I wonder if Starship would be up to the task, or do I need to get me a razor?
Watch your feet sideways. Good job.
Yeah, what a view. What a view from the desert bar everywhere you look. We're getting a hint of blue sky, you know? I'm
just
hopeful.
waiting.
Everything made out of horseshoes. A horseshoe cactus.
We're gonna start heading out.
This bar wasn't here before.
Yes, the desert bar is always a good time for a little bit. I kind of wish they had IPAs though. Now heading back, along with all the other tipsy overlanders. Let me tell you, if I ever get to spend more time here in the West, I'm gonna get me one of them razors. They're expensive though. Let's check out the church. That is not really a church. It is made out of steel.
Yes, it is made out of solid steel, with walls and ceilings made from stamped tin. It is pretty cool if you ask me, although not functional at all. No services are held here. It's more like public art. Anyway, it is time to get on that road again.
It's a neo-Gothic masterpiece.
Not to criticize, but a large exit sign would have been nice. The first time I took this road, I thought it was horrible. But after all we've been through over the years, it isn't really all that bad. Next time, I want to try that back way. What's the hurry? I guess they think I'm in a hurry too. Yay, pavement! And we're back at the RV park. Tomorrow will be our last day of exploration here.
Good morning from Salome, KOE, which has the busiest laundromat of any RV park we've ever stayed at. Oh man, we're gonna throw the trash and then we're going for a hike. We're going back to the Quartzsite area.
It is a gorgeous morning. And where are we going? Well, someone mentioned to us this short, easy hike called Palm Canyon at the Cofa National Wildlife Refuge. Those jagged, distant mountains we could see from La Posa. You see, there is more to Quartzsite than just hanging out in the dust with friends. So much more. There's so much to do in this surrounding area that just a few days every other winter would never be enough. We're back on I-10, and there it is in the distance once again, Quartzsite. That's where we're going.
we're taking Palm Canyon Road, where apparently you can also camp, by the way. I believe for up to 14 days. What a gorgeous desert landscape. I think next time we're camping here. I just love this desert. It looks like we are the first ones here today.
Well, we've made it to the trailhead. And what a beautiful panoramic view all around us here from this higher elevation. And if you just listen. Exactly. There's not a sound up here. Not even birds chirping, nothing. I'm not even wearing the microphone. I'm not doing any sound correction. Anyway, let's start heading up. This is supposed to be a beautiful hike. Very short, half a mile one way. I mean, we're gonna be gaining elevation like 400 feet, but it shouldn't be too strenuous.
Before we continue, let's take a look back at La Paz Valley. What a wonderful place this is. That's the road we came on. Who knew Arizona could be so beautiful in its own desolate way?
This is why we come to the west. For landscape like this one. Drones prohibited. Yep, I had a feeling that was going to be the case in a national wildlife place. So I guess we won't be doing that. Let's read the interpretive signs here. Yeah, the Sonoran Desert. That's what we're looking at. And apparently we may encounter wildlife on this trail. That would be cool. It wouldn't be the first time, and sometimes it can be a little scary, but Palm Canyon. Here we go. I've got my old Trails app. Let's get on their way. Yep, it is through here. It's like everywhere you look. It's amazing. Yeah, here in the shadow, and I think we're gonna be in the shadow. By the way, Ely the climber is with me today again. I think since we're gonna be in the shadow the whole time, and it's kind of chilly. In the sun it feels very nice, but in the shadow, you know, you feel those probably 50 degrees right now. But what can I say? It's just another walk in the desert.
As I usually say, remember to look back, or to the side in this case.
I think we startled some road runners. They were just here on the trail. Let's see if we can see them. I think they're road runners. Yeah. Let's see if we can get any closer. There they are.
Although I don't think they are road runners. That shows you how much I know or don't know about ornithology.
What a place. And behind us, the valley. The La Paz Valley, I think it's called.
little birds keep running away. We're never gonna catch up to them.
I'm gonna say it once. I'd say that's a commanding view. I think we're about to enter the canyon, and someone said that there were palm trees. That's why they call it Palm Canyon. So, we'll see. Sheer cliff in front of us. All the different hues of the rock. We keep going up and up and up. Steady climb. Could this be considered palm trees? Someone told me you could see palm trees in the canyon. I guess this is it. You think? We're almost at the end, I think. Okay, there's a sign over there that says palms, and I think we're seeing our first palm up there. Let's zoom in. Yeah, that kind of looks like a palm. We're on the home stretch. Oh yeah, look at all those palms. All those clouds in the distance. I believe that's rain coming from California. It is gonna rain here tomorrow, believe it or not. Palms. Way up there. We've made it to the end. Well, there's one more person at the trailhead now. Two more people at the trailhead, actually.
That Porsche Cayenne looks oddly familiar. I just can't get over how beautiful this place is.
Yes, palms. That's the other thing. There's no one else here. I mean, we came relatively early. We arrived at a little past 9 a.m. But yeah, we've had this trail all to ourselves. And the road runners. I was hoping to see some longhorn sheep or something, but no luck. Maybe they've been hiding in plain sight in some of these cliffs. Well, now we have nowhere to go but down, back down to La Paz Valley. Just can't get over all the palm trees up there. I mean, there's not that many, but
That's when we ran into the owner of that Cayenne.
What do you know? You never know who you're gonna run into at the trail. Hey. Jim.
Yeah.
Again.
Again.
Oh,
what
man.
are the odds?
Yeah, right?
We're literally out here in very remote country.
Yeah. The
And,
Kofa Natural Refuge or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, and the dirt road must be, I don't know, a dozen miles?
It was 7. It felt like
Okay,
a dozen.
felt like a dozen. It takes a while to get back
Yeah.
in here.
Yeah, and this is just a short half mile trail, but it's been very rewarding. And,
Yes.
and wait till you see the palm trees.
Oh, I'm looking forward to it. Well, and everybody's going to see it thanks to you, too.
Yeah, exactly. All right, Jim.
Great seeing you.
Great seeing you again.
All right.
See you in the next one.
See you
Hey,
later.
if I go to the Grand Canyon, I might run into you too. So.
You know, it doesn't matter how big the venue is. We seem to kind of run into each other.
Yeah.
So,
All right,
take care.
You too.
See you on the road.
See you on the road. All right. What are the chances, right?
It is even more beautiful now that the sun is hitting these mountains.
Yeah, very rewarding hike here. We're almost at the trailhead. Yeah, I just love the way the sun is hitting the mountain now. And as the day progresses, you know, it's actually Jim was telling me that he did this hike yesterday, you know, right before sunset. Actually, he ran out of light. He had to come back down. He never made it to the palm trees. That's what he's doing it this morning. He said that it was magical, you know, with the sunset hitting all this. Maybe someday we'll have to do it at sunset. Anyway, we're almost at the trailhead. And we are back at the trailhead. Totally recommend Palm Canyon if you are in the Quartzsite area.
Let's go back to Quartzsite for a bit. There were a couple of things we forgot to see. Today, by the way, is the last day of the Quartzsite Sports Vacation and RV Show. Yeah, that's the full name.
Your eyes do not deceive you. We are back at the Q Mountain. But we're not climbing the Q Mountain today. Actually, there's a bunch of people on the mountain right now. But the last time I was here, I noticed this abandoned mine here, and let's see if we can see it. Well, it does say private property, not trespassing, so I guess we cannot see it. Oh well. I was really looking forward to seeing the mine. We can just go up the mountain a little bit and zoom in from here. Okay, I'm assuming the private property is just this side of the road. Yeah. Just want to check it out real quick.
According to Google, this is Old Quartzsite Mine number 2, and let me tell you, I would love to do some more exploring, but I don't want to get into trouble, especially with that sign back there, so we're just gonna see it from here and imagine what it would have been like back in the day.
Those are the mountains where we were just there this morning. Well, maybe there's another way to get here through that road down there. More research shall go into this. Yeah, let me get out of here before I get into trouble. All right, let's go get something to eat. Well, it's 12, so they got RV or TVs. Hours Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Well, today is Sunday. Oh well, it turns out they close on Sunday.
And we're back at Tyson Wells one last time.
It looks like it is going to be beer bellies one last time.
Oh, no music today.
It is pretty quiet and there is no live music. Perhaps it is early.
No live music today. Got the pulled pork sandwich, and this is gonna be messy, so I won't show you how we eat it.
We never explored this side of the swap meet, so let's walk around for a little bit. And then we're going to meet our friends Mikey and Barbie at a nearby lake. Well, perhaps not so nearby. Ooh, they have another food court here. Oh, I love these geodes. They don't come cheap though.
Ooh, look at that.
Oh, I think we ate at the wrong place.
That's what I call onion heaven, right there.
There is.
Onion heaven. I think we ate at the wrong place. Yeah, they have Wi-Fi here.
Think they might have a pelican?
Okay. Oh, hello there. Yeah, raw honey. Local and Montana honey. In a teepee.
We also stopped by to say hello to our friends Tony and Peggy of Stressless Camping. They're in charge of the seminars, and we had a great influencers meet and greet.
And that's it for Quartzsite. Now we're going someplace totally different, still kind of in the area.
We're going to this remote state park called Alamo Lake. Our friends, Mikey and Barbie, are camping there and invited us to check it out. Wayside Oasis. That seems like a cool place. And here's our first view of Artillery Peak. We must be getting close. There it is, Alamo Lake State Park. Saguaros, mountains, and the lake. It couldn't possibly be more perfect. This is it. This gotta be one of the best sights in the whole park.
Well, yes, we came to Alamo Lake to visit our friends Mikey and Barbie, and let me show you the view. This is outstanding.
Greetings, my most excellent friends.
Live long and prosper.
You're watching Traveling Robert, your source for quality RV television.
As Mike was telling me, that is Artillery Peak. Elevation 3,213 feet, and it contains one of the largest manganese deposits in the United States. Alamo Lake is, of course, man-made, and there's the dam to prove it. This is a beautiful state park. We must camp here someday. Maybe right here with this view of the lake. We spent some time catching up, planning future trips to Arizona, They recommended the Bill Williams Overlook for a better view of the lake, and the Wayside Oasis we passed earlier for dinner. We say our goodbyes, and off we go. Maybe we'll see each other again somewhere around the country later this year. I can always use a trip to Montana. There's no one else here.
Here we go. Alamo Dam, completed in 1968. Well, according to Mike, this is a great commanding view. And I think his camper is somewhere over there. I might even be able to zoom in and say hello from here. There's no one else here. Here we go. And there it is. That's the dam. I can barely see it with the sun.
Can't really make out which one is Mike and Barbie's.
It is just beautiful, and such beautiful weather at this time of the day. It's probably 60 degrees, sunny. And again, you could hear a needle drop. I mean, a pin drop. What did I say? A needle. You could hear a pin drop. Here. So quiet. All right, let me get back to the car. Cool looking pavilion here too.
Now let's check out that Wayside Oasis. Uh-oh, it is through here. Do not enter when flooded. Primitive road. I guess, like at the Desert Bar, they really make you work for your food and drinks, huh? I don't mind. We have a proper high clearance vehicle, and we could not have asked for a more beautiful afternoon. Here we are. They even have an RV park and a runway, just in case you want to arrive by airplane.
Hanging at the wayside.
It seems kind of dead, but let's step inside anyway.
Well, as our luck would have it, it is Sunday, so apparently they close at 5. Which is alright. I don't feel like driving at night, and sunset is in about 45 minutes. There's a saloon right next to the RV park, which might be open.
Ultimately, we decided to eat at home. So I'm making one of my staples, picadillo, with whatever ingredients we have left. We don't have any tomato puree or olives, but we do have a can of black bean soup, so we're going to make it kind of like a chili. We'll add the frozen sofrito mix, salt and pepper, garlic, lots of smoked paprika, oregano, cumin, lots of cumin, cayenne pepper, vino seco, of course. Let's mix it all up. Finally, the black bean soup. This is going to be delicious. Delicious, I tell ya. Unfortunately, we had to cut this trip short, just when we were getting started. So we're hightailing it back to Florida. Hopefully, we'll be able to get back soon, develop Pelicamp West, and explore a little more of this area of the country. Until then, thank you so much for watching, and see you on the road.